Level up test prep. We're going to write an advanced high school or college level thesis for the following prompt. Evaluate the relative importance of different causes for the Civil War between 1787 to 1860. Now I know by the framing here it wants me to think from the Constitution to South seceding. So that is going to be my time frame, and it's going to create the window of opportunity to provide my answers. Now there's many reasons why and many different ways you could write this essay. I'm just going to pick one thesis for time's purposes. If you'd like to learn more, please book a session. The link is in the description. So it says evaluate the relative importance. What does that mean? It wants you to simply rank the causes. And I have the perfect thesis for that. So it's not arguing what was or wasn't a cause. It wants you to think critically about what was the greater cause to lesser cause. And let's check out my formula template from last time. Although lesser cause contributed to the event, it was ultimately greater cause that led to the event. Part 3, thereby thus which, you can pick up either of the following. Why it was a big deal. You can make a meta point, you can connect it to a larger historical theme or trend, show significance, show why it's important. In some cases, you can get away with just saying what was the effect of the causes, right? The significance could just be the effect. So that's an even shorter cheat code. Let's check out my thesis down below, and I already typed it up. So although the North's refusal to enforce the Fugitive Slave Acts was a minor cause in the Southern secession, that is going to be our lesser cause. I'm acknowledging it in my historical argument. I believe it was a factor. But the prompt specifically says evaluate the relative importance. So I'm arguing it was not a major factor. One main reason I took this stance is because there were millions of enslaved Africans throughout the America's history. The Fugitive Slave Acts was about, and primarily the North's refusal to uphold them. This actually only applied to a small minority of enslaved Africans throughout this time period. So most enslaved Africans did not run away during this time period. Of those who did, many of them were caught and returned. So I'm arguing it was a minor factor. A factor nonetheless, but it was generally minor compared to the other issues at play here. Now again, I could have opened this up with tariffs. I could have opened up with Bleeding Kansas. There's many historical events within the timeline I could have written about, but just for time purposes and just to earn that thesis credit, I threw down one minor answer. Remember, there's multiple ways you could have written this. Second part, part 2, the South left the Union primarily to protect slavery as an economic interest. So it's not just a matter of upholding laws. We know history is going to come in political forces, economic forces, social, intellectual, moral, technological. There's all types of factors. So I said, not only did they protect slavery, but it was for economic reasons, thus ranking the cause as it asked. So I'm saying the economy was the number one issue. Thereby forming a new government with a pro-slavery constitution. And that is going to show why it's important. I'm quite frankly just stating the effect. You know, they left the Union to create their own government with a pro-slavery constitution. That was a cost. And it was also the effect. So the two match up. And why was it a big deal to leave is that they kind of reinvented a new union and created a new government, thereby creating like a new nation. It's also worth noting other countries were ready to recognize this new nation and engage with them, but the war didn't last that long. So there you have it. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Insert lesser cause. Provide greater cause, especially in an evaluate the relative importance theme, and then just give me the effect or say why it's important. Larger historical theme, show meta point, why it's a big deal. It is a big deal that they form a new government with a pro-slavery constitution, and it reinforces that slavery was the main factor, which is why this is an excellent part 3. And there you have it. That is your cheat code. All right, thanks for leveling up with me.